Hello beautiful ladies of the Yoga Sanctuary. So I just did a post about me coming on here doing a live Q&A, and as you can see my mirror's in the background. So this is kind of tripping me out a little bit. I'm going to put myself in front of it. So I have a few questions in that little thread that I left. If anyone else has any other questions, this is kind of like an ask me anything that you'd like to have answers to. Also a reminder that if you have any questions about getting a consistent yoga practice or getting back into routine and really finding the motivation to practice, I'm holding a brand new free webinar on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 4 p.m. British, London, UK time. And that's about 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully that's most of our time zones. I know in Australia, it's probably gonna be a time where you're asleep, but the replay will also be available. Hey Kara, how's it going? Kara, let me know if you have any questions right off of the bat. I know that we're also gonna have a talk tomorrow, so I can definitely answer any of your questions there. All right, so let's get into this. First, I wanna talk about, so the first question was, how do I get rid of my love handles? And for those of you who, I'm assuming all of us know what love handles are, but just in case you don't know that terminology, your love handle would be this little part of your waist right here. So this part, this lovely part of your waist like here, that oftentimes has accumulated fat around there. So getting rid of your love handles is actually something that's a little bit more complicated than you might think. It's not something that is just about toning that specific area of your body, because if you're toning that area of your body, yes, you're gonna have it nice and firm, but if you're wanting to lose weight in that specific area of your body, it's gonna be slightly different. So it's not just about, like doing back and forth exercises that really target your obliques, like side planks. Those help a lot. But, hey Ashley, if you want to slim that area of your body down, then you're looking at weight loss, right? And so two things about weight loss. One is we need to decide what is it that we actually want to do, why is it we want to lose weight, and is your body fine the way that it is? And so kind of targeting specific areas of our body often is provoked as of something that we call body shame. And that's something that I really want to talk about with this group so much, because your love handles or your obliques do not have to be a certain size for you to be beautiful or for you to be happy. And the more that we try to pressure ourselves to get rid of a certain area of our bodies, the more that we're going to keep on obsessing with that certain area of our bodies, and then it's just never going to be good enough. It's always going to be a cycle. I know that that's really hard to hear, but at the same time, when you practice self-love more than, hey, I really want to target this area of my body to get rid of it or to get rid of the fat in it, things are going to be a lot more easier for you. So for the person who suggested that, I really suggest to you to kind of look at your love handles in the mirror and think of them as sexy. Think of them as really, really beautiful parts of your body, and also look at ways that you can accentuate that specific area of your body. Maybe, maybe it's by wearing high-waisted jeans or high-waisted yoga pants, and just finding different ways that make you feel beautiful in the skin that you're in, okay? That's the first part to love handles. The second part is that you could also just be not eating well, being really stressed out, and not exercising as much as you should give yourself credit for. And so if that is your issue, if that is the issue as to why you have those love handles, then getting rid of them would mean practicing yoga more consistently, eating food that isn't junk food, so trying to eat very whole and non-processed foods, and eating foods in a specific way that helps with the weight loss. And that's not something that I can get into in this Q&A right now. And by the way, Ashley, if you're still here, ask me any questions. I'd love to hear from you. So eating specific foods, that could be a whole other live Q&A. If anyone wants a live Q&A on that, let me know in the comments below, even if you're watching the replay. And it's going to take a lot of getting yourself into a healthy lifestyle. And so if that's the reason why you have those love handles, then I really want you to think about that. And it's kind of, it goes along with the live video that I did on body shame a few weeks ago, where there's like two different ends of the spectrum. One is like, I do so much, I'm doing so much for my body already, I'm eating healthy, and I don't like the way I look. And with that, self-love and doing body shame. With the other side of the spectrum of I'm eating crappy, I'm stressing myself out, I'm drinking a lot or doing any specific recreational drugs, or I'm just not taking care of myself, and because of that I'm gaining weight, then that's the other side of the spectrum of let's work on focusing on that healthy lifestyle so that you can lose that weight. And in losing that weight, you can get rid of some of those love handles, right? So it really depends where you are on that spectrum, and it's really important that you assess that before you actually go in and try to change something about your body, because when you try to change something about your body that sometimes can't necessarily be changed, it is a never-ending spiral of I hate this, I want to change this isn't good enough, this isn't good enough, and nothing's ever going to be good enough. So you might as well just accept yourself the way that you are, okay? So I hope that that answers anyone's questions about love handles. So the second question is, let me just see here, what exactly does it say? Okay. Yeah, so this, Claudia wants yoga to help keep her more balanced, and she gets emotional and embarrassed to cry if she's overwhelmed, anxious, frightened, or frustrated. And Ashley just asked me a question as well, and Ashley, I'll definitely get to your question right after this one. So yoga for grounding and yoga for being able to manage your emotions. And I love this topic. I think it's a really, really important topic, and I think that as women, specifically sensitive women, oftentimes we get told that we are really weak if we cry or if we display our emotions, and that is BS. That is not true. You are not weak because of the fact that you cry. And I would even go further for that in saying that a lot of people who aren't fully expressing their emotions, especially men, unfortunately men are told so often to just kind of hold everything in. If we don't express our emotions in the point in time that we feel them, we just kind of keep on putting them deeper inside of our bodies, and eventually they come out, and they come out in ways that we don't want them to come out. And so those ways could include flipping out at someone for no reason, or just having, just getting really angry all of a sudden at your partner for things that they did, like 2 months ago, because you didn't actually tell them 2 months ago that you were upset about something. Or just kind of crying for no reason, or having just really emotional breakdowns where you feel really upset and you can't really seem to control it, and then you tell yourself, oh, well, why am I upset for no reason? And sometimes you can kind of look back and you can say, oh, well, it's because all of these other times that I was upset, I didn't allow myself to feel what I needed to feel, and then I kind of got kicked down. There are some women, myself included, they're a lot more emotional than other human beings, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I know that we're kind of taught to believe that there is something wrong with that, but it just makes you a more sensitive and a more intuitive human being, so you can feel other people's emotions a lot stronger as well, and I consider that a gift. And so one of the ways that you can use your yoga practice to really help you with that is by getting into specific poses and just allowing the emotions that come up to come up, okay? Kara, you just asked a question. I'm going to get right to it right after Ashley's question. So the way that you do that within your yoga practice is you start moving, you start doing anything that you're doing, but always pause through your breath. And when you pause through your breath, you can feel a difference in your body. And that's your parasympathetic nervous system that's kind of really working to slow everything down. And when you do that, you can start to really feel different emotions. Not all people feel these emotions when they practice yoga, by the way, and that's normal too. You don't have to feel something, but if you are feeling something, you just need to acknowledge that and acknowledge its presence, and just allow yourself to feel. And the more that you allow yourself to feel, the more that you can help get yoga to help to ground you and utilize your practice for any any pain that you feel throughout your life. And in that way, yoga is really, really healing. And so one of the best ways that you can do that is just to really stay in a pose for longer than you're comfortable for. Because when you get yourself out of your comfort zone, that's when you really start to feel all of the emotions that come up. So I hope that's a good answer to that question. Let me get to Ashley. So I get vertigo a lot from allergies and sinus issues, and it makes it harder to do yoga as consistently as I'd like. Any advice? Well, if you think about, so Ashley, you have, I think, 2 little boys, right? And so if you probably think about when you were pregnant, it's also very difficult for pregnant women to practice yoga. And there's a lot of prenatal yoga practices. I know that I have a client that I was working with who was pregnant, and so I did a few videos for her that were about nausea, but you can also apply the same types of principles to that. So one thing that I would suggest is just to really be careful with your head. I know for people with vertigo, you pretty much almost always have to be standing and not moving very quickly. So just modify your practice whenever you feel that way, and whenever you don't feel that way, take advantage of those days whenever you don't have vertigo, whenever you don't have those sinus issues, to really allow yourself to get a little bit deeper into your poses and to kind of do all the stuff that you can't do on those days. So just consider it a blessing, because there's always something that you can do in your yoga practice, ladies. Whether you are just starting out and have no idea what you're doing, or you've been through a severe accident, or you have a hamstring strain, which is what happened to me, or even if you have a herniated disc in your back. There's so many different things that can happen to us in our bodies, but there's always a way to modify your practice. There's even chair yoga. So you can find a yoga that's specific for you within that place that you need it the most, all right? So vertigo, try to stick to standing postures where you're not moving your head around that much, and really just focus on grounding yourself through those postures, and even seated postures. And once again, just try not to move too much, especially not back bends or forward folds where you're bringing your head down or you're elevating your heart. Those are things that are going to bother it the most. Awesome. Ashley says, sound good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ashley. Thanks for the question. That was a really good one. Okay, and this is the last one because I have to go to my physiotherapy appointment for my hamstring injury that by the way, I'm still nursing. It's been almost 3 months, which is insane. Maybe I'll do a little post on that afterwards. Okay, so Kara, how do you switch up your yoga routine so you don't get bored with your yoga practice? That's also a really awesome question. So, the way that I do that, and that's something that I'm going to answer a little bit more in the webinar as well, I try to work on specific poses. So one of the things that I really like working towards is things like, let's say for example, Instagram is a platform. I love seeing different poses that are in there, different videos, and I'm like, hey, I really want to try that. And so me as a more advanced practitioner and as a teacher, I can kind of get into those things without really hurting myself. If you want to up-level your routine, I'd highly suggest that you do get a teacher who can teach you how to do all of those poses without getting injured. So that's one way. And another way that you can switch up your yoga routine is to basically just keep on trying different types of yoga and just keep on trying different things. So one thing that I love about yoga is that it can be really fast practice where my heart is racing a lot, or I can do a practice where I'm just stretching the entire practice. I'm still getting a workout with each one. I'm still working towards something with each one, but they're two very different things, right? Either going really fast or just stretching, or sometimes just strengthening. So just doing a strengthening practice. And so when you feel like you're really bored and you want to switch things up, I would just look towards all of the other different practices that you can do with yoga. So one of them is called yin, and yin is basically deep stretching. So you do a lot of deep stretches throughout your practice, and it's a really nice way just to calm everything down and also work on the mental aspect of yoga. You could do restorative yoga when you're feeling really down, or when you're feeling really tired and low on energy. That's basically yoga where you do with a whole bunch of blankets and pillows and everything's super gentle, because you're trying to honor your body and going through any injury or any exhaustion that you're feeling. There's another type of yoga that's called Kundalini. This one's really interesting. It's very spiritual and it's super focused on just doing the exact same movements over and over and over again, along with your breath. So you're syncing specific movements with your breath. So one of them could be like, for example, cactus arms. You can't really see my cactus arms, but cactus arms, which is like that. And so you'd inhale to the left and you'd exhale to the right. You inhale, exhale, and it actually is a workout. You'll feel your body sore the next day as well. But Kundalini has its own type of practice within it that can help you with so many different things. So that's, there's power yoga, there are so many different types of yoga. Hi, Pauline. And so, with that, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I personally don't like yoga practices like Bikram, for example, because Bikram only has, I think, 26 poses that you can do. And so you're just doing the same 26 poses over and over and over again. And for some people, they really like that discipline and they really like that simplicity of only doing those 26 poses. But for someone like me, I personally like the creativity of a hatha yoga practice or a power yoga practice because there's no limit as to what you can do with it. So I would just encourage you to kind of explore different poses that you might want to try or different types of yoga that you can try as well. All right, Kara? So I hope that that helps you out. Let me just see if there's anything else. So Pauline, I think I answered your question at the beginning. I hope that you like it. If anyone else is watching this Q&A and you want to ask me any other questions, post them below and I'll either do another live Q&A or I'll answer them right on here. I'm gonna head out to my physiotherapy appointment. I'm having them once a month now, and I actually created, like, I think tension in my tendon that connects my hamstring to my glutes and all of my joints around there. And so it's taken quite a long time to heal, and it's really humbled my practice in terms of how much I can do with my hamstrings, especially with my left hamstring and its flexibility, but it's definitely been getting better, and it's been a really, really humbling process throughout. So if anyone wants to know a little bit more about that, I'll let you know. Okay? Awesome. I've really enjoyed doing this. Thank you so much for all your questions, and I hope to see you at the webinar on Saturday, which is how to stay consistent and motivated in your yoga practice. Even if you're too tired or you have too much to do, I'm going to tell you all about how I tackle all those excuses that I make for myself and that my clients make for themselves, and how to really get consistent with your yoga practice even when you're super busy. All right? Bye, ladies.